Unexpected arrival. The vast expanse of space stretched endlessly before Captain Zara Chen as she piloted the scout ship Horizon through uncharted territory. Her mission was simple: explore, document, and report back to Earth's United Space Command. But as she would soon discover, the universe had other plans. Zara's fingers danced across the holographic controls, her dark eyes scanning the readouts for any anomalies. The ship hummed softly around her, a comforting reminder of home in the emptiness of space. She had been alone for months, but solitude didn't bother her. If anything, it sharpened her senses, made her more attuned to the subtle changes in her environment. A sudden alarm blared through the cockpit, jolting Zara from her thoughts. Red warning lights flashed across her console as the ship lurched violently. "What the hell?" she muttered, her hands flying over the controls in an attempt to stabilize the Horizon. The star field outside her viewport began to warp and twist, reality itself seeming to bend around the ship. Zara's heart raced as she realized what was happening. They had stumbled into an uncharted wormhole. The Horizon creaked and groaned under the intense gravitational forces, systems failing one by one. "Mayday, Mayday!" Zara shouted into the comm system, knowing full well that no one would hear her distress call this far from Earth. "This is Captain Zara Chen of the UAS Horizon. We've encountered an unstable wormhole and are losing control. If anyone receives this message..." Her words were cut short as the ship gave a final violent shudder. The last thing Zara saw before losing consciousness was a flash of brilliant blue light engulfing the Horizon. When Zara awoke, her head throbbing and vision blurry, she found herself surrounded by twisted metal and sparking wires. The Horizon lay in ruins around her, sunlight streaming through gashes in the hull. She blinked, trying to clear her vision, and realized with a start that the air she was breathing wasn't the recycled atmosphere of her ship. It was fresh, alien. Groaning, Zara unbuckled herself from the pilot's seat and stumbled to her feet. Every movement sent waves of pain through her body, but years of training kicked in. She needed to assess the situation, salvage what she could, and find a way to contact Earth. As Zara made her way through the wreckage of the Horizon, grabbing emergency supplies and her personal gear, she couldn't shake the feeling that she was being watched. The landscape outside the ship was unlike anything she had ever seen. Rolling hills covered in iridescent vegetation that seemed to pulse with an inner light, and towering crystalline structures in the distance that defied the laws of physics as she understood them. "Focus, Zara," she muttered to herself, securing her helmet and checking the seal on her suit. The atmosphere might be breathable, but there was no telling what other dangers this alien world might hold. With a deep breath, she stepped out of the ruined ship and onto the surface of an unknown planet. The ground beneath her feet had an odd sponginess to it, and each step released a soft, musical tone. Zara's scientific curiosity warred with her survival instincts as she took in the alien landscape. The colors here were vibrant and otherworldly, purples, teals, and golds that seemed to shift and change as she looked at them. A movement in her peripheral vision caught Zara's attention. She spun around, hand instinctively reaching for the blaster at her hip. What she saw made her freeze in astonishment. Emerging from a stand of crystalline trees was a being unlike anything Zara had ever encountered. It stood nearly 3 meters tall, its body a swirling mass of what looked like liquid metal, constantly shifting and reforming. Where a face should have been, there was a pattern of pulsing lights that gave the impression of eyes and a mouth. Zara's mind raced, trying to process what she was seeing. First contact. After years of searching the stars, humanity had finally encountered an alien intelligence. And it had happened by accident, with her crash landing on their world. The alien being regarded Zara with what she could only interpret as curiosity. It made no aggressive moves, simply observing her from a distance. Slowly, carefully, Zara raised her hands in what she hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "Hello," she said, her voice shaky but determined. "My name is Zara Chen. I come from a planet called Earth. I mean you no harm." The alien's lights pulsed more rapidly, and a sound like wind chimes filled the air. Was it trying to communicate? Zara wished she had a xenolinguist with her to decipher the alien's language. More movement caught her eye, and Zara realized with a mixture of awe and trepidation that they were no longer alone. Dozens of the metallic beings were emerging from the surrounding landscape, their bodies reflecting the alien's sunlight in a dazzling display. One of the aliens, larger than the rest and with a more complex pattern of lights, glided forward. It extended what Zara assumed was an appendage, a tendril of liquid metal that moved with surprising grace. Instinctively, Zara reached out her own hand. The moment their hands touched, Zara's world exploded into a kaleidoscope of images and sensations. She saw glimpses of an ancient civilization, felt the weight of countless years of history and knowledge. The alien was communicating directly with her mind, bypassing the need for spoken language. As quickly as it had begun, the connection ended. Zara stumbled back, gasping for breath, her mind reeling from the intensity of the experience. The lead alien's lights pulsed in a pattern that Zara somehow knew meant both welcome and caution. A series of images flashed through Zara's mind. A great city, gleaming towers that stretched into the sky, and at its center, a being of pure energy. The alien was inviting her to their capital, to meet their leader. But there was also a sense of urgency, of a looming threat that Zara couldn't quite grasp. As the aliens began to move, gesturing for Zara to follow, she realized that her mission had changed dramatically. No longer was she a simple scout, documenting new worlds. She had become humanity's first ambassador to an alien civilization, thrust into a complex and potentially dangerous situation. With one last look at the wreckage of the horizon, Zara squared her shoulders and followed the aliens. Whatever challenges lay ahead, she would face them with the determination and ingenuity that had carried humanity to the stars. As they traveled across the alien landscape, Zara's mind raced with questions. How would she communicate with these beings beyond the limited mental connection? What was the threat they seemed so concerned about? And most pressingly, how would she ever find a way back to Earth to report her incredible discovery? The journey to the alien city was like nothing Zara had ever experienced. They traveled in what seemed to be a living vehicle, a massive creature that resembled a manta ray but flew through the air with impossible grace. As they soared over the landscape, Zara saw signs of a highly advanced civilization, sprawling farms that grew crops in geometric patterns, massive structures that seemed to defy gravity, and networks of shimmering energy that crisscrossed the planet's surface. As the alien capital came into view, Zara's breath caught in her throat. It was a city of impossible beauty, with spiraling towers that seemed to be made of light itself. The entire metropolis pulsed with energy, as if it were one living, breathing organism. Their flying transport came to rest on a platform high above the city. As Zara stepped onto solid ground, she felt a subtle shift in the atmosphere. The air here felt charged, alive with possibility. The lead alien, whom Zara had begun to think of as her guide, gestured for her to follow. They entered a vast chamber, its walls lined with what looked like liquid screens, showing scenes from across the planet and beyond. At the center of the room stood a being that made Zara's jaw drop in awe. It was a swirling vortex of energy, vaguely humanoid in shape, but constantly shifting and changing. This, she realized, must be the leader she had seen in her vision. The energy being's voice resonated directly in Zara's mind, a symphony of thoughts and emotions. "Welcome, Zara Chen of Earth. I am Zilaria, overseer of the Luminary. Your arrival was foreseen, though the manner of it was unexpected." Zara struggled to find her voice, overwhelmed by the alien presence. You knew I was coming." Zilaria's form rippled, an expression Zara interpreted as amusement. "We have long watched the skies, awaiting contact with other sentient species. Your crash landing has accelerated a process we believed would take many more of your years." As Zara's mind raced to process this information, Zilaria continued, "But your arrival, while fortuitous, comes at a time of great danger for our people. We face a threat that could destroy not only our world, but countless others. We believe you, Zara Chen, may be the key to our salvation." With those words, Zara realized that her accidental journey had thrust her into the heart of an interstellar conflict. As the sole representative of humanity, she would have to navigate alien politics, unravel the mystery of the looming threat, and find a way to protect not just Earth, but an entire alien civilization. The weight of this responsibility settled on Zara's shoulders, but with it came a sense of determination. She had been trained for the unexpected, prepared to represent humanity in the face of the unknown. Now, standing before the leader of an advanced alien race, Zara knew that her greatest challenge, and humanity's greatest adventure, was just beginning. Echoes of stardust. As the alien sun cast its ethereal glow across the crystalline spires of the luminary capital, Zara found herself thrust into a whirlwind of alien politics and cosmic intrigue. The days that followed her arrival were a blur of new experiences, each more mind-bending than the last. Zilaria, the energy being who led the luminary, had assigned Zara a guide and translator, a quicksilver alien named Exilaria, whose fluid form could reshape itself to better communicate with the human visitor. Together, they navigated the complex web of alien society, with Zara struggling to understand customs and technologies that seemed to defy the very laws of physics as she knew them. "Your arrival has caused quite a stir, Zara Chen," Exilaria burbled, its form rippling with what Zara had come to recognize as excitement. "Many among the Luminary Council believe you to be the Stardust Walker foretold in our most ancient prophecies." Zara raised an eyebrow, a scientifically trained mind bristling at the notion of prophecies. Stardust Walker. That sounds like something out of a fantasy novel, not a space opera. Exilaria's form shimmered in what Zara had learned was their equivalent of laughter. "Ah, but is there truly a difference between sufficiently advanced technology and magic? Our seers glimpse possible futures, weaving quantum probabilities into narratives that guide our people, and you, Zara Chen, have been woven into a narrative of great significance." As they walked through a garden of bioluminescent plants that sang softly in harmonies beyond human hearing, Zara pondered her situation. She had come to learn that the Luminari were facing a grave threat, a cosmic anomaly they called the Void Hunger, a phenomenon that devoured stars and left only emptiness in its wake. It was approaching their system, and all their advanced technology had proven powerless against it. "But why me?" Zara asked, voicing the question that had been gnawing at her since her arrival. "I'm just a scout, not some chosen one. What could I possibly do against something that eats stars?" Exilaria's form coalesced into a more humanoid shape, its features arranging themselves into an expression of seriousness. "The prophecy speaks of one who walks between worlds, carrying the essence of a young species whose potential has yet to be fully realized. Your human unpredictability, your ability to think in ways we cannot, these may be the key to our salvation." Zara was about to respond when a commotion erupted nearby. A group of Luminari in what appeared to be military attire rushed past, their liquid metal forms streaked with patterns of urgent communication. "What's going on?" Zara asked, her body tensing instinctively. Exilaria's form rippled with concern. "It appears there has been an incident at the Stellar Forge. We should investigate." They hurried through the winding streets of the capital, passing structures that seemed to defy gravity and logic. As they approached the massive complex known as the Stellar Forge, a place where the Luminari harnessed the power of microscopic black holes to create new elements, Zara saw plumes of multicolored energy erupting from one of the central towers. A crowd had gathered, their liquid metal forms reflecting the chaotic light show above. Zara pushed through, her human solidity an advantage in the press of fluid bodies. At the center of the commotion, she found a scene of devastation. The tower was collapsing in on itself, its material being drawn into a swirling vortex of darkness. Luminary scientists frantically worked at control panels, their forms elongating as they struggled against the pull of what Zara realized with horror was a rapidly expanding black hole. By the cosmic winds, Ancilia gasped. The void hunger, it's here. Zara's mind raced. This wasn't just a natural phenomenon, it was behaving with an almost intelligent malevolence. As she watched the Luminary's most advanced technology fail against the encroaching darkness, a wild idea began to form in her mind. Ancilia, she shouted over the rising chaos, your people manipulate gravity and space-time, right? What if we could use that against the void hunger? Ancilia's form wavered in confusion, but our gravitic fields have no effect on it. It consumes everything we throw at it. Exactly. Zora's eyes blazed with the fire of inspiration. So what if instead of trying to push it away, we pull it in on itself? Create a feedback loop of its own hunger. Understanding dawned in Ancilia's luminous eyes. It quickly relayed Zara's idea to the Luminary scientists, who regarded the human with a mixture of skepticism and desperate hope. What followed was a frantic race against time as Zara worked alongside the alien scientists, her human intuition and outside-the-box thinking complementing their advanced knowledge. They repurposed the Stellar Forge's generators, creating a complex web of gravitational fields that would turn the void hunger's own nature against it. As the black hole grew, threatening to consume the entire city, Zara stood at the makeshift control panel, her hands hovering over alien interfaces that responded as much to thought as to touch. Now, she shouted and activated the device. The effect was immediate and spectacular. The swirling vortex of darkness seemed to hiccup, its relentless expansion faltering. Then, with a sound like reality itself tearing, it began to collapse inward. The void hunger, faced with its own insatiable appetite, began to devour itself. A cheer went up from the gathered luminary as the threat disappeared in a final flash of light. Zara slumped against the control panel, exhausted but exhilarated. She had done it. She had saved an alien world using nothing but human ingenuity and determination. As the dust settled and the luminary began to assess the damage, Xylaria appeared before Zara, its energy form pulsing with what could only be described as awe. Zara Chen, it intoned, its thoughts resonating in her mind. You have proven yourself to be indeed the Stardust Walker of prophecy. But this victory, while significant, is only the beginning. Zara straightened, meeting the alien leader's gaze with newfound confidence. What do you mean? The void hunger that threatened our world was but a fraction, a mere tendril of a greater whole, Xylaria explained. Somewhere out in the cosmic depths, its source awaits, a threat not just to the luminary, but to all life in the galaxy. As the implications of Xylaria's words sank in, Zara felt a mix of terror and excitement coursing through her veins. She had come to this alien world by accident, a lone human far from home. Now she found herself at the center of a cosmic struggle, the fate of entire civilizations resting on her shoulders. So, Zara said, a wry smile playing on her lips, when do we start? As night fell on the alien world, casting the crystalline city in hues of deep purple and shimmering gold, Zara stood on a balcony overlooking the vast metropolis. The events of the day swirled in her mind like the cosmic forces she had helped manipulate. Ancilia approached, its form a comforting presence in the alien night. The Council wishes to speak with you, Stardust Walker. They believe you may hold the key to our ultimate survival. Zara took a deep breath, steeling herself for whatever challenges lay ahead. As she followed Ancilia back into the heart of the luminary stronghold, she couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. In the face of impossible odds, humanity had proven its worth among the stars. And this, she knew, was only the beginning of an adventure that would reshape the very fabric of the cosmos. Quantum whispers. The great hall of the Luminary Council pulsed with an energy that made Zara's skin tingle. Alien beings of liquid metal and pure energy gathered around her, their forms shimmering with anticipation. At the center stood Xylaria, its presence commanding even in this assembly of cosmic entities. Zara Chen, Stardust Walker, Xylaria's thoughts resonated through the chamber. You have proven your worth in ways we could not have imagined. Now, we must ask even more of you. Zara straightened, her resolve hardening. Whatever it takes to stop the void hunger, I'm in. A ripple of approval moved through the gathered luminary. Zaloria's form expanded, projecting a three-dimensional map of the galaxy. Our seers have traced the source of the void hunger to a region of space we call the nexus of echoes. It is a place where reality itself becomes malleable. The galactic map zoomed in on a sector that seemed to shimmer and shift, defying the laws of physics. Zara leaned forward, fascinated despite the gravity of the situation. To reach the nexus, Xylaria continued, we must traverse the quantum labyrinth, a region of space-time where probability itself becomes a tangible force. Our technology, advanced as it is, cannot penetrate its depths. But you, Zara Chen, with your human unpredictability, may be able to navigate its shifting pathways. Enxiria, standing beside Zara, added, the quantum labyrinth is said to be alive, in a sense. It responds to consciousness, reshaping itself based on the thoughts and expectations of those who enter it. Our logical, predictable minds become trapped in recursive loops. But a human mind, with its capacity for illogical leaps and creative problem-solving, might be able to forge a path through. Zara's mind reeled at the implications. So, you're saying I need to… what? Think my way through a maze made of probability. Precisely, Xylaria confirmed. But you will not go alone. We have assembled a team of our most adaptable individuals to accompany you. And we will outfit you with our most advanced technology, including a prototype quantum interface that will allow you to directly interact with the fabric of reality itself. As if on cue, a group of luminari entered the chamber, each carrying pieces of what looked like a sleek, otherworldly suit of armor. As they approached Zara, the pieces began to assemble themselves around her, conforming perfectly to her human physiology. The sensation was indescribable. As the suit sealed itself, Zara felt her consciousness expand. She could sense the quantum fluctuations in the air around her, see the probabilistic waves that underpinned reality. Whoa, she breathed, flexing her fingers and watching ripples of possibility spread from the movement. The quantum armor will protect you from the physical and mental strains of the labyrinth, Enxiria explained. But more importantly, it will allow you to reshape reality itself, to a limited degree, of course. Zara nodded, still marveling at her new perceptions. When do we leave? Immediately, Xylaria answered. Time is a luxury we no longer possess. The void hunger grows stronger with each passing moment. Within hours, Zara found herself aboard a luminary vessel unlike any she had seen before. It was less a ship and more a bubble of contained reality, capable of slipping between the cracks of space-time. Her team, a diverse group of luminary specialists, surrounded her, each equipped with technology that boggled the human mind. As they approached the edge of known space, Zara felt a growing sense of unease. The stars outside the ship began to blur and shift, reality itself seeming to unravel around them. We're entering the outer fringes of the quantum labyrinth, announced Kexley, the ship's navigator. Its liquid metal form was stretched thin, clearly strained by the task of guiding them through this impossible region. Zara took a deep breath, centering herself. All right, team. Remember in here, our thoughts become reality. Stay focused, stay positive, and for the love of all that's holy, try not to think about cosmic horrors. No sooner had the words left her mouth than the ship shuddered violently. Outside, amorphous shapes began to coalesce, nightmarish amalgamations of teeth, tentacles, and void. Damn it, Zara muttered. Sorry about that. Okay, new plan. Everyone, think about puppies. Fluffy, harmless puppies. To her amazement and relief, the cosmic horrors outside began to shift and change. Within moments, the ship was surrounded by gigantic, spacefaring puppies, their tongues lolling out as they playfully batted at passing asteroids. Well, Enxilia commented, its form rippling with what Zara had come to recognize as amusement, that's certainly one way to navigate the labyrinth. As they pressed deeper into the quantum maze, the challenges became increasingly bizarre and dangerous. They faced everything from time loops that threatened to trap them for eternity to parallel versions of themselves intent on taking their place in the real universe. Through it all, Zora's human creativity proved invaluable. Where the Luminari's logical minds saw insurmountable obstacles, she saw opportunities. She used the quantum armor to reshape their local reality, turning deadly radiation into harmless light shows and hostile beings into allies with a bit of quick thinking and quicker talking. But as they neared the heart of the labyrinth, something changed. The playful, almost whimsical nature of their surroundings darkened. The very fabric of space-time seemed to groan under some immense pressure. "We're getting close to the source," Kexley announced, its voice strained. "The void hunger, its influence is strong here." Zora felt it too, a pull not just on her body, but on her very consciousness. It whispered promises of power, of knowledge beyond imagining. For a moment, she found herself wondering what it would be like to give in, to let the void consume her and become one with the cosmic darkness. "Zora," Exilaria's sharp thought cut through the tempting whispers. "Stay with us. Your mind is our anchor here." Shaking off the influence, Zora refocused. "Right. Sorry about that. Looks like we're in the endgame now, folks. Whatever's waiting for us at the center of this maze, it's not going to go down without a fight." As if in response to her words, the space ahead of them began to warp and twist. A massive structure revealed itself, a sprawling, impossible geometry that hurt the eyes to look at directly. At its heart, a swirling vortex of absolute darkness pulsed with malevolent energy. The nexus of echoes, Kexley breathed in awe and terror. Zora steeled herself, the quantum armor humming with power around her. "All right, team. We've come too far to turn back now. Whatever happens next, remember, reality is what we make of it. Let's go save the universe." With that, they plunged into the heart of the cosmic anomaly, ready to face the source of the void hunger and rewrite the very laws of reality itself. As they entered the swirling maelstrom, Zora couldn't help but grin. This was why humanity had reached for the stars, not just to explore, but to make a difference on a cosmic scale. And now, billions of light years from Earth, a lone human stood ready to do just that. The fate of the universe hung in the balance, and Zora Chen, the improbable Stardust Walker, was ready to tip the scales. Echoes of infinity. As Zora and her team plunged into the heart of the nexus of echoes, reality itself seemed to splinter around them. The quantum armor crackled with energy, barely holding together against the onslaught of raw cosmic power. Zora's mind reeled as she tried to process the impossible sights before her. The Nexus was a place where all possibilities existed simultaneously. Fragments of alternate timelines, glimpses of worlds that never were, and echoes of forgotten histories swirled in a kaleidoscopic maelstrom. At the center of it all, a pulsing core of darkness grew ever larger, the source of the void hunger. By the cosmic tapestry, Exilia gasped, its liquid metal form stretching and contorting as it struggled to maintain cohesion. "It's beautiful and terrifying." Zora gritted her teeth, focusing her will through the quantum armor. "Stay together, everyone. Remember, our thoughts shape reality here. We need to think unity, think purpose." As if in response to her words, tendrils of void lashed out at the team. Zora watched in horror as one of the Luminari, Vexara, was struck. The alien's form began to disintegrate, being pulled into the hungry darkness. Without hesitation, Zora reached out both physically and mentally. She grabbed Vexara's rapidly dissolving arm and poured her will into the quantum armor. "Oh no, you don't," she growled at the void. "This one's with me." To the amazement of the team, Vexara's form began to reconstitute. The void retreated, hissing in frustration. "How did you do that?" Kexley asked, all evident in its thoughts. Zora grinned, though the effort had left her drained. "Rule 1 of being human. We don't leave our people behind. Now, let's find out what's at the heart of this cosmic garbage disposal." As they pressed deeper into the nexus, the challenges grew more abstract and bizarre. They faced paradoxes made manifest, fought against the very concept of entropy, and navigated through dimensions that shouldn't exist. Through it all, Zora's human adaptability proved invaluable. Where the Luminari saw immutable laws of physics, she saw guidelines to be bent. Her ability to think laterally, to find connections where none should exist, allowed the team to progress where pure logic would have failed. Finally, they reached the core. Before them loomed a being of such cosmic scale that Zara's mind struggled to comprehend it. It was as if a black hole had gained sentience, its event horizon forming patterns that hurt to look at directly. Intruders, a voice boomed, not in sound, but in thought so powerful it threatened to overwhelm their minds. You dare to enter the domain of null, the ending of all things. Zora stepped forward, her quantum armor flaring, as she exerted her will to stand against the cosmic entity. We dare, she replied, her voice steady despite the fear coursing through her. You're threatening not just our worlds, but the entire fabric of reality. We're here to stop you. A sound like the laughter of dying stars echoed through the nexus. Stop me, foolish motes of dust. I am inevitable. I am the end that comes to all things. Your struggles only hasten the sweet oblivion I offer. As Null spoke, Zara felt the pull of the void growing stronger. She saw her teammates beginning to lose cohesion, their forms and minds being drawn into the cosmic darkness. Even her quantum armor was starting to fail, reality itself unraveling around her. But in that moment of despair, an idea struck her, a crazy, impossible, utterly human idea. You're right, Zara said, causing her teammates to look at her in shock. You are inevitable. You are the end of all things. She took a step closer to the cosmic horror, her arms spread wide. So why fight it? Why struggle? We surrender ourselves to you, Null. Consume us. End us. The void paused, confusion rippling through its unfathomable form. This wasn't how it was supposed to go. There should be resistance, denial, a futile struggle against the inevitable. Zara pressed her advantage. In fact, why stop with us? Why bother with the slow consumption of the universe? You're the end of all things, right? So end it. End everything. End yourself. What? Null's voice wavered, uncertainty creeping into its cosmic thoughts. Think about it, Zara continued, her mind racing. You're the ultimate end, the final oblivion. But as long as you exist, there's still something left in the universe, your paradox and impossibility. The only way to truly be the end of all things is to end yourself. The void writhed, patterns of confusion and cosmic doubt spiraling across its surface. But I am eternal. I am the end. Exactly, Zara pressed. So prove it. Be the true end. Consume yourself and fulfill your purpose. To the astonishment of Zara and her team, Null began to shrink. The cosmic entity turned its unfathomable hunger inward, beginning to devour itself in a desperate attempt to prove its nature as the ultimate end. Now, Zara shouted to her team, while it's distracted, use the quantum armor to reshape reality. Think creation, think life, think beginning. The Luminari, snapping out of their stunned silence, joined their powers with Zara's. Together, they poured their will into the quantum armor, using it as a conduit to reshape the very fabric of the nexus. Where there was void, stars began to bloom. Empty space filled with swirling nebulae and newborn galaxies. The hungry darkness retreated, replaced by the vibrant light of creation. Null, caught in its own logical trap, continued to collapse inward. With a final, reality-shaking implosion, the cosmic horror winked out of existence, taking the threat of the void hunger with it. As the dust of creation settled, Zara and her team found themselves floating in a newborn universe, the nexus of echoes transformed into a cradle of cosmic life. We did it, Auxilia said in awe, its form rippling with joy and disbelief. Zara laughed, a sound of pure relief and exhilaration. Rule 2 of being human, Sometimes, the craziest plan is the one that works. As they made their way back through the transformed quantum labyrinth, Zara marveled at what they had accomplished. A human from Earth, partnered with beings of living metal from across the galaxy, had faced down a cosmic horror and birthed a new universe in the process. The implications were staggering. They had not just saved their own worlds, but created the potential for countless new civilizations to arise. As the familiar shapes of luminary space came into view, Zara felt a bittersweet pang. Her mission was over. She had saved the universe. But in doing so, she had glimpsed wonders beyond imagination. How could she go back to being a simple scout after this? Enxilia, sensing her thoughts, placed a comforting tendril on her shoulder. You know, Stardust Walker, there's still much to explore in this new cosmos we've created. The Luminary would be honored if you would continue to walk among the stars with us. Zara grinned, her eyes shining with a reflection of newborn stars. Well, when you put it like that, I guess my adventure is just beginning. As their ship glided towards the shimmering spires of the Luminary homeworld, Zara Chen, human, explorer, and now creator of universes, felt a thrill of excitement for what the future held. The cosmos was vast, full of wonders and dangers alike, but with human ingenuity and the power of cooperation between species, anything was possible. The Stardust Walker's journey was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. Cosmic Symphony. The grand hall of the Luminary capital buzzed with an energy unlike anything Zara had ever experienced. Beings from across the galaxy had gathered to celebrate the defeat of the Void Hunger and the birth of a new universe. Zara stood at the center of it all, still clad in her quantum armor, now a symbol of the impossible made possible. Zara Chen, Stardust Walker, Zalaria's voice resonated through the chamber, silencing the cosmic cacophony. You have not only saved our reality but birthed a new one. The Luminary Council has decreed that you shall be granted the title of Cosmic Architect, first of your kind. A cheer went up from the assembled beings, a harmony of thoughts and emotions that threatened to overwhelm Zara's senses. She raised her hand, and to her surprise, the crowd fell silent. Thank you, Zara began, her voice carrying easily in the hushed chamber. But I didn't do this alone. It was the combined effort of all of us, human ingenuity and luminary wisdom, working in harmony. And now, we face an even greater challenge. She gestured to the holographic display showing the newly born universe. We've created something beautiful, something filled with potential, but with that comes responsibility. We must ensure that this new cosmos flourishes, that life has the chance to emerge and grow. Enxilia floated forward, its liquid metal form shimmering with excitement. The Stardust Walker speaks truth. We propose the formation of a new organization, the Cosmic Cultivation Initiative. Our goal will be to seed the new universe with the building blocks of life, to guide the evolution of nascent civilizations, and to protect them from threats they cannot yet comprehend. Murmurs of approval rippled through the crowd. Zalaria's form pulsed with what Zara had come to recognize as pride, an ambitious proposal, and who better to lead this initiative than the one whose actions made it necessary? Zara Chen, will you accept this responsibility? Zara felt the weight of countless alien gazes upon her. This was far beyond anything she had ever imagined when she first set out as a scout for Earth. But as she looked around at the diverse beings gathered here, at the display showing a universe teeming with possibility, she knew there was only one answer. I accept, she said, her voice firm with resolve. On one condition, that we extend an invitation to Earth to join this cosmic community. It's time for humanity to take its place among the stars. The next few months were a whirlwind of activity. The Cosmic Cultivation Initiative took shape, with Zara at its helm. Her team expanded, bringing together the greatest minds from a dozen different species. They developed technologies beyond imagination, terraforming engines that could reshape planets in days, quantum seeds that could jumpstart the evolution of sentient life, and temporal stabilizers to protect fledgling civilizations from cosmic disasters. But Zara's greatest challenge lay closer to home. As promised, she returned to Earth, appearing before the United Nations in her quantum armor, with Encilleria and a delegation of Luminari at her side. The shock and awe on the faces of Earth's leaders as she explained the true scope of the cosmos would stay with her forever. There was fear, of course, suspicion, accusations of treason and abandoning humanity. But as Zara shared the wonders she had seen, the knowledge she had gained, and the opportunities that awaited humanity among the stars, resistance gave way to excitement and hope. Within a year, the first human colony ships were launching, guided by luminary technology to traverse the vast distances between galaxies. Earth became a hub of interstellar diplomacy, a mixing pot of ideas and cultures from across the cosmos. As for Zara, she found herself constantly moving between worlds both old and new. One day, she might be overseeing the seeding of a promising solar system in the new universe. The next, she could be mediating a dispute between evolving silicon-based life forms and organic colonists on the fringes of luminary space. But her favorite moments were the quiet ones, standing on the observation deck of her ship, no longer a mere vessel, but a being of living metal and quantum energy that responded to her thoughts. She would gaze out at the swirling galaxies, both familiar and new, and marvel at the journey that had brought her here. "Penny for your thoughts, Stardust Walker." Encillaria's familiar voice broke through her reverie. The liquid metal being had become her closest friend and confidant through their shared adventures. Zara smiled, her hand absently tracing patterns on the viewport. Where her fingers passed, the stars seemed to dance and swirl, just thinking about how far we've come, and how far we have yet to go. Encillaria's form rippled in agreement. The Cosmic Cultivation Initiative has already made remarkable progress. We've seeded over 1,000 worlds, guided 3 civilizations past their first existential crisis, and established a network of quantum beacons across both universes. And yet, it feels like we've only just begun. "That's the beauty of it," Zara replied, her eyes shining with the reflected light of distant stars. "There's always more to explore, more to learn, more to create. We're writing the next chapter in the story of the cosmos." A soft chime interrupted their conversation, a priority message from the initiative's headquarters. Zara's expression turned serious as she absorbed the information. "What is it?" Encilia asked, sensing her concern. "We've detected an anomaly in Sector 9 of the new universe," Zara explained, already moving towards the ship's control center. A cluster of stars vanishing without a trace. No signs of a natural phenomenon or known cosmic entity. Encillaria's form tensed, patterns of worry rippling across its surface. "You don't think?" "I don't know," Zara cut in, her mind racing with possibilities. "But whatever it is, we need to investigate. Alert the council and assemble a team. Looks like the Stardust Walker has a new trail to blaze." As the ship's engines hummed to life, preparing to traverse the boundary between universes, Zara felt a familiar thrill of excitement and trepidation. This was what she lived for now, facing the unknown, protecting the wonders they had helped create, and ensuring that life, in all its infinite diversity, had the chance to flourish. The cosmos was vast, full of mysteries and marvels beyond imagination. And Zara Chen, once a simple scout from Earth, now cosmic architect and protector of universes, was ready to face whatever challenges awaited. For in this grand cosmic symphony, every being, every world, every galaxy had a part to play, and Zara was determined to ensure that the music never stopped. As her ship vanished into the quantum phone between realities, a new chapter in the epic saga of life, creation, and exploration began to unfold. The adventure, it seemed, was only just beginning.